contigo. Bendita eres entre todas las mujeres, y bendito es el fruto de tu vientre, Jesús.
Santa María, Madre de Dios, ruega por nosotros los pecadores, ahora y en la hora de nuestra muerte. Amén.
Gloria al del Espíritu Santo, como era en un principio, ahora y siempre, por los siglos de los siglos. Amén.
Tercer misterio glorioso, la venida del Espíritu Santo sobre los apóstoles.
Padre nuestro que estás en el cielo, santificado sea tu nombre. Venga a nosotros tu reino. Hágase tu voluntad en la tierra como en el cielo.
Hello, this is Father Al Schwartz. I have a special reason for sending you this video. Recently I sent out an appeal in which I described my illness and asked for contributions to my children's endowment fund. The response to this appeal was simply overwhelming. The financial response was far greater than my wildest expectations. The emotional and spiritual response was equally gratifying. I have received literally thousands of letters, and every day more are coming in. For me, this was a revelation, a personal discovery. I knew I had many generous benefactors and good supporters. What I did not realize was that I had so many kind, dedicated friends who are very concerned about me personally, who are very committed to the cause for which I have dedicated my life, and who are very emotionally involved in the many charity works and projects which I administer. I send a little thank you note to each of you. However, this seemed inadequate. Something more was needed. So the idea of this video came to mind. This is a more personal and meaningful way of expressing my heartfelt gratitude and appreciation. Many of you inquired about my health and asked many questions concerning my illness. I do not wish to bore you, nor to burden you with a recital of my aches and pains and trials and tribulations. I am sure each of you has more than enough of your own. However, I think it is only fair to honor your inquiries and to answer as simply and candidly as possible some of your questions. The disease with which I am currently afflicted is called amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, or more popularly, Lou Gehrig's disease. So you see, it is a terminal illness. The time span from diagnosis to death is usually 3 years. I am now well into my 3rd year. Although the disease of its nature is very unpredictable it is possible, even probable, that I am now in my final year. The disease attacks the nerves in the spinal column. The nerves die. Since the nerves no longer send out signals to the muscles atrophy and become paralyzed. I am now almost totally paralyzed in my arms, my hands, my legs, and my feet. Then the disease attacks your breathing muscles, swallowing muscles, and speaking muscles. That is where I am now. You perhaps notice I have difficulty in breathing and also in speaking. My voice grows weaker by the day. And this is another reason for making this video and sending it to you. Before my voice goes and my presence is no longer here, I want you to have a living memento of me, something to remind you of me, so that you will remain committed and involved even after I'm no longer here physically. Believe it or not, I am making this video in Mexico City. Before contracting this illness, I did a feasibility study of setting up our Boys Town and Girls Town programs here in Mexico, and later, if the Lord so wills it, to other countries in Latin America. After contracting this disease, I went ahead with my plans and began here in Mexico. Mexico City is perhaps the largest city in the world with a population of 20 million people. The poverty here is staggering. It is estimated that 50% of the children do not complete elementary school, and of those who leave elementary school, another 50% do not go on to middle school. So there is a crying need for programs such as ours here in Mexico. We have just completed construction of our first Boys Town and Girls Town buildings. We have 900 boys and girls with us, children from the streets and slums of Mexico, children who are malnourished, out of school, and with no hope for the future. If we develop this program to its maximum, we will eventually be caring for and educating 6,000 to 8,000 needy, abandoned children here in Mexico. Although I am now almost totally disabled, by the grace of God and with your support and encouragement, I continue to do more or less what I've always done. I continue to plan, to build, to oversee and supervise our programs. I continue to teach the children, to counsel the sisters, to organize. I go back and forth between Korea, the Philippines, and now Mexico. In Korea, as perhaps you know from my many letters, we have Boys Town and Girls Town programs in Busan and Seoul, where we care for and educate a total of 4,500 children. These youngsters range in age from day 1 to children in their late teens. Among our children in Korea, we care for 400 to 500 mentally and physically handicapped. We also have a village for abandoned street people, mostly homeless, handicapped, helpless men. In Korea, we operate the only 2 completely free hospitals for the poor, one in Busan and the other in Seoul. In the Philippines, we have set up Boys Town and Girls Town programs in the 2 major cities, namely Manila and Cebu. We are constructing our final Boys Town building in Cebu. When the construction is completed and all our facilities in the Philippines are filled to capacity with needy, underprivileged, and abandoned children, we will be caring for and educating a total of 10,000 youngsters. Also in the Philippines, we have a medical service program for destitute tuberculosis patients. In our facilities, we care for 800 inpatients and over 2,000 outpatients. This is by far the largest program of its type for TB patients in the Philippines. I wish to encourage you better. I urge you, I plead with you to continue your financial support. I am known as something of an idealist, but I'm also very much a realist. I know that these programs begin with food on the table and money in the bank. Without your help, we can do nothing. I desperately need your continuing support to feed and educate my children and to meet my day-to-day expenses, which are truly enormous. I need your help to complete construction in Cebu and now here in Mexico. I need your help to set up a children's endowment fund which will secure these programs for the future when I am no longer here. Won't you please send in today, if possible, another generous gift of love, $5, $50, $500, even $1,000, whatever your heart tells you to give and your pocketbook can afford. I also encourage you to show this video to your friends. Spread the message. Tell others about our work. We need many more donors, supporters, and friends like you. It has been our policy always to keep a low profile and to work quietly. We feel that this is in the spirit of the Gospels and in the spirit of Christ. Now, however, I think it is time to modify this policy somewhat. I think it will give glory to God, and it certainly will strengthen our programs if they were better known, if we had more friends, more benefactors like you. Won't you please help me in this area? I need your spiritual help at this critical juncture in my life. please pray for me. Pray that God will give me the patience, the courage, and the determination to keep going, and to keep going until the end. Finally and lastly, generous benefactor, devoted supporter, kind friend. As they say here in Mexico, muchas gracias. As they say in Korea, 감사합니다. As they say in the Philippines, salamat po. And as they say in the home country, many, many thanks, and God bless you.